Hi, the leading educators.
Hello, leading educators.
All right, so what do we have? You're going to show you guys the norms?
Of course. My norm was to walk away with at least one plan of action based on what was discussed at the meeting.
Awesome.
I feel silly now. On time, stay on task, stick to the agenda. I like posting the minutes and listen to others.
Timeliness, structured meeting, no digression, and do not interrupt.
Very good. I want to work out with practice and error analysis and reteaching was behind what we need to do. How can we practice that in the classroom? And also comes the word differentiating, something.
Okay. I put equity of voice. I guess we kind of all said something like that. Thompson, will you write them up there for us?
Sure.
Okay. So I heard comment, equity of voice. Timeliness is like stay on the agenda,
Yeah.
right?
Be on time and stay on the agenda.
Okay, so can we write equity of voice, be on time, and everything Thompson wrote? That's good. And Rocky. Walk away with at least one plan of action based on what was discussed in the meeting. So an action item,
Yeah, that's good.
and that's good, right? Equity of voice, timeliness. Let me see. Dr. Rodriguez. Stay. Timeliness goes with structured agenda.
Yeah, we'll stay on task, right?
Okay.
Stick to the immediate agenda and stick to the time as much as possible. It's hard to do that, but
Timeliness, equity of voice, action item, walk away,
or takeaway.
Takeaway?
I hate that word, but
action
maybe.
takeaway.
Yeah.
We're wrong.
Okay, but we get it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you said listen to others, Griffin, or you said it differently. Or I
Equity
guess that's
of
equity
voice.
of voice.
Yeah.
That's the same thing, huh?
All right. Anybody have any celebrations or wins? You're a timekeeper, so we have 3
You ready?
minutes. Yeah.
3 minutes.
Yep.
I think on the whole, Brady Cam's a win. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, we got some stuff to talk about, but I'm pretty happy with it on the whole. It's made my process much easier.
Time efficient, and the kids get the immediate feedback.
Right.
Similar to what you guys do. Thompson.
It's Thursday. It's Thursday.
Rocky.
But
Any celebrations or wins?
celebration. Some students I was thinking they were not do well and they did extremely well. That surprised me.
Some did really well.
Yeah, they did.
Yay, Rocky. Nice.
And something I predicted a little bit, but I still was not, I was in denial, is the result of the test I did, the 5%. Inside of me said, some of them may not perform well, so they didn't do it. But I was thinking it's so easy, we might do it. And I was, first thought was right. They need that time pressure. When you put that time pressure, you can see some results, you'll be surprised.
Yeah. Your test scores.
Our kids are doing good. Well, I think for both Algebra 1, I can speak for both of them. And Mills told me that a good point to look at is if a kid averages like 50 and up, then they're kind of projected to score in a fair and a good, and those are students who need a little bit more pushing. And across the board, more than half received a 50 or higher on our exam. And you have to be mindful that they're taking it on the computer, their word problems, you know what I mean? So that's different, Mills.
Right.
Anything else?
You, Griff.
Oh, I said the same thing, yeah. All right.
20 minutes?
Yep. So the objective for today, you guys, is that we're going to introduce the practice of error analysis and plan reteaching. This is going to be a process. So It's gonna be a series of things that we're gonna learn as a whole. It's a learning process for me and for everybody on this team. So it's not gonna be like, oh, this is all due, this is just us coming up with ideas and really using our brains and our ideas to really like drive student achievement and to also make ourselves better in the classroom. So I had you guys read an article. We can do two things. One, if we haven't yet read it all, I can give us a couple of minutes to review it. Or,
if that's what we're discussing, I think I already know.
okay, cool. So I have this protocol that I want to introduce you guys. It's called Say the Last Word. And what this protocol will do would just be an avenue of keeping it structured on how we're going to discuss what we've learned and heard in this article. Okay, so can I give you guys like a minute to just read over what the protocol is?
You want to pause your video?
No?
But she'll edit that out now.
Yep. It is what it is. We're just being real right here, okay? We good? Anybody want to summarize what the protocol is for us?
I will.
Simple? Okay.
Somebody reads the passage they found enlightening, and the rest of the group responds to that, and the person who chose that passage doesn't say anything until everybody responds, and then that person has 3 minutes in which to respond, or sometime to respond. Yeah, 3 minutes.
And if it doesn't take the 3 minutes, it's okay.
Okay.
We can just go. If it doesn't take you a minute to say what you're going to say, it's fine. Just don't know if we have that much to say. Cool?
Is that about right?
Yep. Perfect. Everybody in agreement?
I'm just curious, just because we did do this in one of our professional developments with Karina.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I'm curious about is what happens if the thing that you find interesting somebody else reads. What do you do then? I'm just curious because they don't stipulate for that, do they?
Nope. So, can we try to choose something different?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just curious.
If you can.
Yeah.
If you can. Okay. Who would like to start? Anybody?
I'll start.
Okay.
Tell us what page.
Yeah, so page 2, about 3/4 of the way down, specifically teacher B. Perhaps they did not know that they need to zero a linear object on a ruler when measuring its length. I find this quite common in elementary kids, and rulers don't help since many of them place the first hash marks a 1/4 inch inward from the physical edge of the ruler.
Okay. I was kind of confused. Well, not necessarily confused, but perhaps they did not know that they needed to place a zero on an object. So this is kind of like a common error that most students make, just like typically what we have in our math class. Any math class relates to any type of content area. But I think that this may be students not really, like he basically said, not really knowing how to use a ruler. Like, when do we really use rulers in our everyday life rather than just being in the classroom or in the occupation that you may be in? So it's not like a common tool that kids use, I guess, or are required to use.
Go ahead.
Comment?
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not, I don't see it as something that students use easily. It should be the other way around. Every single student in middle school and high school should have it. For some reason, just to do straight line. We ask them to graph, they just put lines, whatever, and then they see you doing system of equation, right? Drawing. And you ask them to do it graphically, hardly anybody can do it right. Why? Because you don't do scale. You have that notion of scale. But if they use a ruler every time, the scale is going to come up easy for them. And they can change scale accordingly. And this is important. Why? Because we send them to take maybe a class of physics or a class of chemistry, and they have to do graphs. And when they do graphs, they are stuck. When they should learn that? Should learn that when they're taking math courses. So, teacher B in particular, they say perhaps. So, this is something I'm not sure. It's just a suggestion, maybe. But when I look at this, I look at the whole picture. Teacher A has a different thing, teacher B has a different thing, teacher A and teacher C. Why? Because we don't know exactly why the student has this number. So those are hypotheses. I don't know.
Can I go next? Is that all right? Just because, well, Rocky just made me think of something. I taught in middle school briefly, and I had the idea that percent from that, and they get fractions from that also, which is something is really hard to do with the ruler. So Rocky just made me think of that. But I think when I read this, and it's a great passage, Razika, because it shows the level of deciphering where the errors are. And going down into just the nitty-gritty of why we're doing it. And where kids are possibly making mistakes. And if you read on, the solution was to give them a ruler where the zero starts at different places on the ruler. And because in the critical thinking that would come from that would really help the students to eliminate that problem, I think. That kind of deliberate breaking down of the concept. And just quickly trying to bring it to us, it's like, I struggle to think how all of us, because we all teach different things, would do this, but if you look at systems, they know how to solve a system. They make mistakes with the negatives. And that's something that would be across the board for us. So that's the kind of thing that we could look at. It's like they're not making mistakes on the steps of the operations. They're making mistakes when they're multiplying, they're making mistakes. It's negatives, negatives, negatives. So this just really spoke to me in terms of the kind of depth of figuring out what the problem is and how to solve it.
Well, my response to that is, just likewise on both ends. It's just that what I saw from this conversation, this dialogue, is teachers who understood their tests, understood the choices, the multiple choices that are given on the test, and understood why a student might pick one choice over another. And I think that's a very good dialogue to have when you're trying to do these types of analysis, as well as when you are figuring out the next step, where to take the reteaching lesson next.
Don't you have to go?
I went.
Oh,
I was the first one.
Oh, okay, that's right. Well, I'll say this, y'all were much more serious about this than I was in this particular passage. And the reason I picked this passage is because I personally believe after this interchange that teacher B may not be the highest performing teacher in the bunch. The reason is because she's indicating to me that she doesn't understand why rulers don't have the mark at the very, very corner. And the reason is because basically the corner of a ruler is most likely the one to experience damage. And so that's why they have it in slightly. And so,
That's why I said perhaps.
yeah, and so I was kind of like, well, maybe if you taught that in your class, then these kids wouldn't have this difficulty. But the point is, but the thing is in light of what y'all are saying, it's like, it's something like that right there may be enough right there to kick the kids over on this problem, because then it's a practical thing to say, well, why don't you put the thing there? Look at your ruler. Is it dented on the corner? What's going on? So they pick that edge there slightly off, a quarter inch to half inch in. And part of it is also, if you do anything with drafting, drafters will tell you that a ruler is actually not a straight edge. And the reason is because you bang it up so much when you're measuring things, and a straight edge is something completely different. And so a ruler is for measuring, but a straight edge is for drawing. And so maybe that's little things like that could be used as teaching tools to really emphasize, hey, you use a ruler to measure, but you use a straight edge to draw, and maybe that will break it down even further for them in their understanding and stuff like that. But that's all the kind of random free association stuff that ran through my head when I was reading through this passage. So that's kind of what I was thinking about.
Is that everybody?
Mhm.
I'm just gonna tell you guys, I'm not being rude. I'm just watching the time. Like, we're
No,
supposed to take
that's
a
good.
minute on each one. So if you're, I'll say one if you're close. Keep talking, whatever you want to do. But just so you know.
Who would like to go next? Yeah. Anybody else want to go next? Choose a part. Choose a part of what really caught their attention.
This is what caught my attention, all of this.
What this whole
It's
thing?
A, B, C, and
Okay.
What page you on, Murphy?
look the bottom
The
half.
dialogue that the teachers were having.
Yeah.
I agree. I just like the fact they were able to have this dialogue of what it was. So they were able, it was more of the whys, and it wasn't more of, oh, you know, sometimes we give excuses for our kids and we say, oh, they don't do homework, they don't do this, they don't do that. But this was more like just concept and instructional wise for me. It was just like, all right, so what am I doing in the classroom that's not helping or supporting the students that I'm teaching? Because we can make 100 excuses for the kids, but you know, we have 90 minutes to maximize. And there's all these different reasons of how they were analyzed. And this is just one problem. They analyzed one problem. And they came up with, 4 different possible solutions, as well as how they can possibly reteach the lesson as well. And everybody had an idea. Because sometimes, like, I teach one way, obviously they didn't get my instruction. And if I have somebody here telling me, well, I taught, and Dr. Rizika has done this a lot, I taught it this way, and it's like, okay, I'm going to try that. You know what I mean? It's like, instead of just being one-minded, there's all these heads in one room that can be put together.
I mean, the thing is I'm thinking the same way, and when I see this, although the language is somewhat stilted in this exchange, it really is a reflection of what actually goes on when you put 4 teachers in a room trying to come up with why their students aren't performing. And it's just one of these things about, hey, well, maybe it's this, and that kind of continuous dialogue is how you hash out problems in everyday teaching, because it's just, to some extent, we all teach in a vacuum, and then when you have these vacuums intersect, that's when the information changes hands, and then you get new ideas from that. So.
I'm going to respond to him if I can go next. I disagree with you, Dr. Rizika, wholeheartedly. I don't think we ever get to this level of discussion about what the students are doing. Like, this is one problem. Well, it was A, B, and C right here.
No, it's here.
Go ahead, Tom.
Wait, what?
We were doing this part right here, and she was looking on the notes page. No, he was just talking about this.
Oh, okay. Okay. The why.
All right, well.
Wait, I'm sorry. I do, but the why. We don't get to the why. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, but
We'll
I'll
have that discussion.
right. It's like we just don't.
No, you're right about that.
But it does make me think. If I can say that, I know it's sorry,
Yeah,
I'm on task. And like when I'm reading this, I'm thinking, well, we don't teach the same thing. This isn't going to work. But we do. We teach systems. We all teach quadratics, right? So and they're making the same mistakes. So it's like it's just bringing in one problem, like you're talking about, and we need to get to this level. Because I'll say that and read it for my passage then. But it's like it is. We say, oh, they don't get this, or they can't do this. Oh, the 9th grade teacher didn't teach it, the 8th grade teacher didn't teach it, the 7th grade teacher didn't do it. They don't do homework. But looking at their actual work together and saying what mistakes are they making. Because I think we'd be really surprised.
Well, you know, why don't we do this? You know, we have a test, we create the test, it's multiple choice. Obviously, we take the test to get a key. You know, we can kind of gauge ourselves, you know, why each of these answers are incorrect and why this one, you know, is good. You know, we do that when we go over the test anyway with our kids. Like, we do it. I think what this is saying is just to streamline and create a systematic process where we do it together as teachers. That's what I saw from all of this dialogue between, you know, these teachers. It's just the fact of us sitting down and yeah, just identifying, okay, B, C, and D is incorrect because you use a negative here or you got that mixed up there. And we have the item analysis tools to use after the kids take the test so we can see, okay, all of them chose C. Obviously, I need to go back and reteach, you know, whatever needs to be retaught because of the answer. Thank you.
I like it.
Right. Teacher discussions is all good, so beneficial, you know, to all of us. No problem. But to me, this is waste of time. This is waste of time. Why? The problem is the multiple choice. That's what. Because when a student picks C or pick D, go ahead and elaborate and discuss. Right? But if we see the work, how he got to C, that's going to tell you everything. If we have an expression, and you tell him that X is equal, and B is equal, and A is equal, and plug this in, he can do at least about 3 to 4 types of mistakes in that single problem.
Agreed.
So once you see the work, how he got to C, you can dissect it yourself because you see, oh, he made a mistake, this is a sign mistake. No, this guy does not have sign mistake, he doesn't know how to use a calculator. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to give more problems. You answer your question right away, if you see the work. Now here is where this comes from. I gave a test before, and I was told, Mr. Aki, make sure they show their work. That was multiple choice. Actually, it wasn't at the university. So, I thought, why is that? When they told me why, I could not believe it. And then I ended up saying with my own eyes. Students do the work, find the answer, and the answer is C, they pick B. And that I stopped right there. Why somebody will do the whole work and find the right answer and pick the wrong answer? He told me it's called stress. It's called pressure. That's all do. And at a certain time, instead of picking one letter, they pick another letter. And from there, I always look at the work and I tell him, show me the work. It's multiple choice. Show me the work. Because if I see the work and you see the answer that is correct, and you pick the wrong one, I will still give you credit. And if the steps are correct, and you do a minor mistake, you get a partial credit. Because I always think, and I always keep thinking, that multiple choice are not fair to the students. It does not give you credit. That's my opinion.
Can we talk?
We have